Hey guys, how's it going? I am back with another guide video, and in today's videos I'm actually going to go over how to play giant characters. I got a request on how to make a guide on making a guide for giant characters, so I'm going to go ahead and make one right now. I'm not the world's best giant players, but I feel like I do know enough to help someone who wants to learn giants get their footing and be able to actually go into matches and do well with giants. So I want to go over some of the tech that is kind of with giants that people might not know about, and then I want to go over with what you should be trying to do on defense and what you should be trying to do on offense, and then basically the rest will be up to you to lab and learn your characters' combo strings and stuff, because unlike smaller characters, they do have their own combo strings. As I can show you right now, they do have their own enders and stuff, so you're going to want to lab that out. But really, I'm just going to show you some gimmicks and stuff that help me play a giant against some of the top tier characters and against some people online. The first thing I want to mention is that you actually have to hold your left analog stick when attacking people on the ground or above you or in front of you. You want to make sure you're holding your analog stick down if they're below you, up if they're above you, and then if they're right in the middle, it doesn't matter which way you hold the analog stick. But you want to make sure that if they are below you, are holding down like this, so you will actually land your attacks, because if you just press square and they're in front of you like this, your attacks aren't going to land. So you need to make sure that you are actually holding down if they are on the ground, and then holding up if they are above you. The next thing that I want to mention is that giants actually don't have a step bubble, and what that means is that if you've ever played two smaller characters against each other and you're right in front of each other, kind of like how Analyza and Super Vegito are, you have, when you go to do left X or right X, you do a little sidestep instead of doing the dash like you just saw me do. But giants don't have that, so they will just dash the entire time. And it also works for the smaller player. The smaller player will not have a sidestepping bubble either, so it makes movement when you're in front of someone a lot quicker. I would say it's easier for them to get behind you and easier for you to get behind them. And you have to really pay attention to what the opponent is doing, because just one quick sidestep like this and they're behind you. So you have to really make sure that you are not allowing your opponent to have enough time to breathe to get behind you. And now I want to talk about defense. So giant characters don't have precision or super precision counters. As you can see, I'm trying it right now. I'm mashing the button, it's not coming out. They don't have it. So defending against someone who's attacking you is a little harder. You're going to want to make sure that you're blocking. They do have the up and down block, so you can not get tripped up. And they also do have super counter and Z counter vanishes. So making sure that you're utilizing those is going to be your go-to defense options. Bigger characters like Hirudegarn or Baby are going to be harder to super counter, because they're bigger, which means if your opponent's attacking you, you're really not going to see what's going on. I found I was having that problem multiple times in my matches. So just trying to get your super counters right and utilizing the giant character skills. Each giant character has one skill that's like a get off me. I think Analyza actually has Shadow Clone or Wild Sense, but most of the other giant characters have Explosive Wave, which is like just a get off me if they're hitting you from behind. Pause. And you want to make sure you have really good awareness of your skill level to make sure you always have an explosive wave to get them off of you, and to make sure that you are having enough defense to be fine without relying on super counter and timing your Z vanishes. That's all I really want to talk about for defense. You're going to pick up defense more as you play, and learning kind of how to space your opponent, how to zone your opponent out with Ki Blast, keeping them away, going into sparking, going into your offense and defending. You'll learn more as you play. There's not really much I can tell you other than what I would do, which is when you're on offense, go on offense, and if you're on defense, try to stay watching what your opponent is doing and timing your explosive waves so that you can go ahead and go on the offense. But since he has no precision or super precision, it's really hard, and super counters are difficult even with smaller characters. So making sure that you have enough skill count for explosive wave is going to be really important for defense. And lastly, I want to talk about your offense, and I'm just going to talk about certain moves on your offense, because everyone knows that you can do your rush chains. I would hope by now in this game you have rush chains and combo chains. So I'm just going to talk about 2 moves that I found myself really using while playing online against other people. And the first move is this right here. This is your dash, or your Z dash, that you would do as a small character that would get you behind them. So it's dash into pressing X twice, and you're going to do this shoulder charge thing. This is unblockable. The opponent cannot block it, so it's going to open them up, and you can actually use it multiple times, which what people do online is they'll power up to sparking and then just go ahead and spam this, since the only way to actually counter it is for them to use a super precision counter, which is going to cost them a bar, so they can only do it a certain amount of times, and it's just really annoying to deal with. So if you want to be an annoying giant player, go ahead insta sparking into just mashing this, and you're going to piss a lot of people off. The next attack I want to talk about, which I find is actually the most useful on offense, is actually your charged heavy. And why I find the charged heavy so useful is for multiple reasons. Is number one, it does just so much damage. If you land it, you're doing 5,000, which is half an HP bar. And then the next is the utility part, where you can actually go ahead and time it to go ahead and vanish behind your opponent, which is really strong. You can actually follow it up with a oh, I missed. The timing's difficult, but you can go ahead and you can, geez, if I can make it come out, you can follow it up with a shoulder charge, because as you saw, it was a true combo. It did combo twice, and that is going to help you do even more damage. But really, I would recommend just mastering the vanish, because that is going to be your greatest offensive tool. If you spam it a lot, people are going to get predictable, but just throwing one or so out every couple of minutes is going to keep your offense up and keep them guessing, which is what you want them to do. And the last thing I want to talk about on the offense is actually grabbing. So now you might have been like trying to grab, which is XX, and just doing this where you're just dashing all over the place trying to grab. So I'm going to give you a little tech trick. And what you're going to want to do when you go for the grab is actually hold block. You can do this for smaller characters too, but you're going to hold block, and it's going to allow you just to immediately go into your grab, and it's going to make your life a lot easier when you are playing offense and trying to grab opponents who are just holding block. So if you start utilizing all this stuff while playing giant characters, you're going to do a lot better, I promise. And you should be having a lot more fun if you didn't know about the analog stick thing and you've just been missing. But that's all I have right now. I can do a more in-depth guide on just a singular giant character if you guys want me to do that, or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, or even if you have advice for other people wanting to learn how to play giants, because I certainly don't have everything. I haven't played with them long enough to know everything. So if you know some tech, or you know something that I might have even said wrong, please go ahead and correct me in the comments and help your fellow Sparking Giant players out. Someone did request this video, which is why I'm making it, and I hope that I was able to help that person out even just a little bit with something they didn't know, and it can help them win their matches. Please like, sub, and I will see you all in my next video. Peace out.